Hello, everybody. Welcome to Costume Corner. My name is Ross Scoggin, and I'm joined by Liesl today.
Hello, everybody.
And we are here to bring you a fun project that you can do at home.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to teach you how to make 4-in-1 chainmail.
Yes. And of course, hopefully everybody's been able to pick up their packages of the supplies at this point. So very exciting.
You will have two main things in your supply package. You'll have a set of chainmail rings.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, they're all going to be the same size. There will be 200 of them.
Ooh.
In addition, you will have one pair of pliers. It's easier if you can use 2 pliers, but you can absolutely do this with one set. So we'll go over both methods in just a little bit here.
Cool.
We will have also a link below to where you can get more rings of the exact same style. However, we will also teach you how to make your own rings.
Hey.
I know, right?
That's
Exciting.
cool.
So that part is a little bit more complicated, which is why we do recommend that even if you are 13 or older, for the part where you're using power tools, absolutely get an adult with you.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that somebody knows what you're doing and is there to watch you just in case.
Absolutely.
Something happens.
Yes.
We all want to make sure we're good and safe while we're doing this.
Absolutely.
So. And these are the tools you'll need, including a drill, cutting pliers, gripping pliers, an iron rod, wire, rings, and of course, patience.
Yes. And I should preface, I've never done this before. And that will become apparent.
There are 2 main things to deal with when you're working with chainmail. The first is it is very repetitive. You will be doing the same steps over and over and over again. This is not something that's done in a sprint. This is something that's done as a marathon. Make sure to give yourself plenty of time to do whatever project you're going to do. Today, we won't be talking about necessarily a specific project. We're just going to show you how to get started.
Cool.
And then from there, you can go make pretty much whatever you want.
Yeah.
Bracelets, earrings, necklaces, armor. I mean, all sorts of different fun stuff.
I'm for sure making earrings.
That sounds good to me. The first thing I'm going to actually show you is how to make your own stuff.
Awesome.
And you'll get to help me out with that.
Yes.
This will require some materials that did not come in your kit. I do apologize. We could not get a power drill for everyone. Pretty much any standard power drill will do, cordless or wall-mounted. That's perfectly fine.
Cool.
You'll take a rod, and you'll want to make sure that the diameter is right for whatever type of chain that you're using. So that you might have to buy a different size depending on what you're getting. And then you poke a hole in the top. That's often going to require a drill or drill press. And that does also take some time and some doing. We fortunately have a friend at the library who was very helpful and did that ahead of time for us.
Thank goodness.
Because we definitely don't have the equipment to do that here. So this is kind of, but let's go on ahead and just do this real quick. So you take your rod with the hole, make sure the hole's outside of the drill. Don't make the same mistake I did and put it inside first and then go, how do I attach a wire?
How do?
Uh-oh. And then you want to make sure that lock's nice and tight. It's not going to, obviously it's not a drill bit, but it could still hurt if it just kind of flies out. So,
Yep.
And then really the next thing you need to do, and I'll go ahead and let you handle this part. You take this, thread it through the hole. And then you can use some pliers to bend that around behind it.
How much? Like that?
Yeah, that should be fine. As long as it's basically enough to where it's definitely not going to come out. So. It does take some practice. It's definitely a different way from doing it than you've probably used pliers before.
How's that? Is that
should
okay?
be fine.
Okay.
That should be fine. So the next thing you do, and what I always do is make sure it's on the lock position before I'm ready to use it, because I don't want to accidentally start drilling. So you unlock it, and then you'll generally just kind of feed it in, so that way it goes in a straight line. So you'll want to do this very slowly. Speed is not really what you're looking for here.
I am terrified.
I say speed's not what you're looking for here, but then you just start spooling it.
That's so cool.
And then you want to make absolutely sure your hand doesn't get too close, because, that's bad.
Yes.
And now you can all see a close up of what it looks like when you're spooling.
Very cool.
Yeah. So the cool thing about this is that in the long run, this is a much cheaper way to get all of the rings you want.
Yeah.
Because like a pack of wire, this pack of wire I bought for like, I think $30 on Amazon.
Ah, yeah.
There are many, many yards of it. So you can do this for a long time. And obviously, like the first few times you do it, you're not going to be able to get super close, but you can make it look almost like, a spring once you get some experience behind it.
That's cool too.
Yeah.
This is so awesome.
And then, sometimes, like, depending on what kind of wire you get, the fold might be... So this is actual stainless steel wire. This is not silver. This is not aluminum. This is not, this is actual wire you could use to, make fences or...
This is so... I'm, like, mesmerized right now. Like, I feel like if you... They could still see my face, and I was just like, whoa. Like, I'm surprised I didn't drool.
This is a fun part, but like I said, it does require a bit more planning and forethought. But if you can manage it, it is definitely a much faster way to get yourself a bunch of extra rings that are all going to be the same size.
Very cool.
So, and then once you're kind of done there, I try to go maybe about 2/3 to 3/4 down, because you don't want to get too close to the edge, because then you could mess it up. So once you get down to there, we can go ahead and cut off that portion.
Okay.
So you should have the cutting pliers, so just cut off at pretty much any point. It's going to require some, there we go. And then open this up.
Ta-da!
And then we can cut off this end.
Yes.
Yeah, so the downside of it being stainless steel is it is steel, which means that it is very resistant to, damage and cutting and all that fun stuff. But here we go.
So cool.
Now we've got ourselves basically what looks like a glorified spring. It doesn't really do springy stuff, but...
That's so cool, though.
Yeah. Now, the only other thing to do is over and over and over again, you can just cut basically along the line of the spring. If you have something like a Dremel or, some sort of table saw, it's going to go a lot faster, but you can do it with cutting pliers. Like, that'll work, over time.
That is so cool.
But then, you basically just do that up the entire line, and then you get a bunch of extra rings. So
how neat. Yeah. Wow.
Like I said, it's kind of got to put some torque into it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Very cool.
So that's how to make rings.
Awesome.
So for the next part, let's actually go on ahead and teach you how to make those rings into something, more than rings.
Yes. That would be a cool thing.
I mean, you're here for chainmail, not for rings. So,
well, true.
What we're going to do here, this is going to be a 4-in-1 pattern. There are a lot of different ways you can make chainmail. This is one of the more traditional and one of the more common ways to do so. But you can find instructions for all sorts of different ways to go about it online. But 4-in-1 is a relatively easy way to begin learning, and also is just really straightforward once you get the hang of it. Mm-hmm. And it actually originates from European cultures.
Very cool.
So, yeah. So what you're going to need, once you have your collection of rings, you're going to need some that are open and some that are closed. So most of your rings are going to be open if you're making them. The ones in the package will come closed already, so you will need to open lots of them, whereas in this case, we're going to need to close some of them.
Okay.
So to open a ring, you can take a pair of pliers, including the pliers that you were supplied with. Just kind of slide it into the ring like so. And then just kind of open up the pliers, and it will open the ring. And so that's what an open ring looks more like. Now, for the ones that we've cut as well, they're going to come up a little bit lopsided, so we'll need to use 2 pairs of pliers just to even that out. So I'll go on ahead and show you how to do that. You shouldn't need to do this with the rings that came in your kit, but in case you need to, you can adjust them like that, either up or down. I just do it so that way it's even. And so you'll set your open rings and your closed rings into different piles because you're going to need some of both. So like I've got some that are already closed. I'm going to put those over there. You'll also, do be careful because these things, even the ones with grips can slip. Yours will not have like the gripped teeth, but that makes it more durable in the long run because you're not actually like cutting into the ring when you're moving stuff around. To close them, you all right?
I flung it across the room. It's over there. I went to squeeze it open.
Yeah, you have to be careful with that because you'll have to like hold it while you're opening it because otherwise it might try to do that. I should have said that. That's my bad. To close it, of course, you then take your pliers and just sort of push them together. Just do it slowly and carefully. And then, of course, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfectly, completely, like 100% flush. Because as long as it's closed enough that the material of the ring can't get through, it's going to stay closed. Like this stuff doesn't easily pull open. Like I'm trying to pull it open with my fingers right now, and it's not working very well. So unless you have somebody sneaking up on you with a pair of pliers that are just going to start going to town, like you don't have to worry about it.
And hopefully you don't have people sneaking up on you with pliers.
Let's hope not. Thank you. But usually what you're going to end up with is... So the 4-in-1 pattern basically is called 4-in-1 because for every ring, it's going to end up being connected to 4 others, hence the name. So let's open that up some. And for that pattern, once you have kind of a good stockpile of the different types of rings, you can start threading them together. You okay? Okay.
I shot myself in the face with it that time. It's fine. It's fine.
As long as you're fine.
We're good.
Okay.
We're good. Continue. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, everyone.
No, you're fine. But yeah. So this it's partially the beginning of the repetitiveness. You're going to be doing this opening and closing stuff a lot. So the more you do it, of course, the easier it starts becoming.
The less you shoot things across the room.
Yeah. Probably want to open this one up a little bit more too. No, actually, that one's good. Probably want to open up this one a little bit more. There we go.
So how many open and closed rings do you suggest we have at the beginning?
So, to get started with the basic weave, what you're going to need is going to be at least 8 closed rings and 3 open rings. Okay,
so 3 open rings. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8.
Excellent.
That's amazing. Okay.
If I may see the other one.
Yes, here you are.
because it's a lot easier to do with two than it is with one.
Yes, for sure. And just so you know, just so everyone knows, the thing that I was doing that was making them fly off was when I was trying to open them, which Ross showed us a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So just be careful when you're opening them because they can fly right off the end of the pliers.
They can. I recommend when you're opening them to hold the pliers and then just hold the sides of them. So that way it's less likely to go flying off.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
I just wasn't strong enough.
It's tricky too. Especially for the first time doing it. It took me several tries to actually get it right. So...
Cool. All right.
So,
ready to go.
Now that we have, you'll still want to hold on to your pliers and keep them close because you will be needing them for this next part. The first thing that you need to do to get started, you take an open ring
Mm-hmm.
and put 4 closed rings into it. So that they kind of dangle off almost like, this ring's wearing a bunch of earrings or something.
And you said 4 of them.
Yes, exactly 4.
Perfect.
No more, no less. 5 is right out.
5 is right
I was
out.
just waiting for the Monty Python.
I mean, we all knew it was going to happen.
Yep, we did.
So, once you have your 4 connected to the open ring,
Cool.
close the open ring.
Okay.
And so, next you'll have it arranged like so on the table to where the ones out, or the 4 attached to the central ring are kind of doubled up like that. So where they're leaning one way and the central ring is leaning the opposite way. If it helps, you can envision almost like a really tiny V, like in between, so that these are going one way and that one's going the other. It's like a really tiny V.
I think I got it. Got it.
Not quite. So here, well, actually, you know what? I think this is a good learning experience, if I may
Yeah, here.
bring that over here. So
This is what Liesel did.
no. I mean, I think because this was a lot of the problems I was having when I
Yes.
was starting out on this.
Exactly.
Is that if you're not really certain how everything's supposed to fit properly, it
Mhm.
can be really hard to do this.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so what
Okay.
you need to do is actually fold them so that it's more like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Everything needs to be able to lay flat on the table.
I see.
And so if something's kind of wobbly or a little off,
Yeah.
then the entire
Then you're
braid
in trouble.
is going to be... I mean, basically it just means that you need to open everything up again and disconnect it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you're not going to like make a mistake where you've basically wasted anything.
Yes.
Except time.
Yeah.
Uh,
This is much prettier than what I had, so.
I mean, like I said, it takes practice to
Yes.
actually get the weave right.
Absolutely.
So the next thing to attach more, what you're going to need to do
Mhm.
is take another open ring
Okay.
and put 2 more closed rings in it. So it'll look much like the one that you had earlier, except only 2 instead of 4.
Cool.
And then, this is also the tricky part. There are so many tricky parts, y'all.
There are.
You'll take... See, this is what I was talking about. You take the open ring, and you're gonna basically weave it. So you see the one that's facing, like in this case, toward me or to the south of the screen.
Yes.
You'll want to slide underneath that, but inside both of the rings closest to yourself. So that way the open ring connects to both of those.
And not the one that's facing us, right?
And not the one that's facing you. It actually is supposed to go underneath it. So it'll look a little bit like this. You know what? Let me just see if I can bring it a little closer to the screen. I'm going to bring it directly up. So maybe you'll be able to get a better look at it.
Heyo!
That sounds like success.
It is.
Nice. So, yes, you'll bring it up and it'll look a little bit like this. And then you'll just close that ring. And that part's also going to be tricky because you've got the two rings that are going to kind of interfere a little bit. But as long as you kind of keep them in your hand, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. And so now when you lay it down flat again, it should all go back to basically the same position. He says. Oh, no, it's fine. Okay. So it all basically kind of goes back to that same position. And now it's starting to look a little bit more like actual chainmail than a handful of rings kind of put together. All right.
I did it.
Very good. Yeah.
Thank you.
To show what Liesel's been doing.
I skipped ahead a little and did another one.
So I'll go ahead and show you how to do the next one. I mean, basically, it's going to be the exact same thing you just did.
Yeah. Thank you.
Over and over and over again.
And over and over and over.
And over. Stop repeating yourself. Stop repeating yourself.
I'm not repeating myself. I'm not repeating
I'm not touching you.
Exactly. That's where I was going.
Does this annoy you? All right. So, yeah, same deal. Open ring, two closed rings. And then you just slide them on, same position as you did before. And I find it generally helps to keep it on the table while you're sliding that in, because then it retains the same shape and you don't accidentally put it through any other rings you're not supposed to.
Yes.
Because I've also done that before. And that is a pain, because then when you have extra rings inside the one, it's a lot harder to open it properly. But then you just close it.
This is so cool. I want to make a Sir Lancelot headpiece.
That would be fun.
Yeah. I'll have it ready next year, but
Like I said, you want to give yourself a lot of time for any chainmail project. If it's something small like earrings or like a bracelet or something, you probably want at least a couple months. If you're going for something very large, like, you know, armor or leggings or anything else like that.
Leggings.
I mean, those exist. I've seen them.
That would be pretty wild.
That would be. That would take a long time.
It would.
But basically, it's just that. And then you can just keep adding on to it. If you are making chainmail, the first thing I recommend is to make sure to measure your waist and then give yourself maybe a couple of inches extra.
Oh, yeah.
Because chainmail does not stretch.
Nope.
It will not stretch.
Nope.
So you want to make sure that you have plenty of room to fit in, because otherwise you're going to end up with a very nice piece that you cannot wear. Mm-hmm. That would be a shame. Same for the head hole as well. Make sure to measure the circumference of your, like, the widest part of your head as best you can estimate. And then make sure that you give yourself another few inches of space on either side, because otherwise you're going to probably pull out all your hair every single time you put it on.
Yes.
So I think from there, really, there's only one last thing to do. And that is to show you how to make it wider.
Oh, I was going to say a huge battle.
I mean,
is that what we do next?
We can just, like, you know, just whip the chainmail at each other.
Yes, yeah. No, we have swords. We'll go get the swords.
Okay, we can get the swords, and then, you know, I'll have, like, chainmail over, like, one of my fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
It will protect that finger.
It will.
To widen it, the one other thing that you'll need to do is, again, have one open ring and two closed rings. So you have the two closed rings, put them in the open ring, and then instead of just going down the length, You go toward the direction you want to go in. I mean, technically, it doesn't really matter. It will end up being up or down depending on what project you're trying to make. And then you just slide that as well underneath and through. It gets a little trickier at this point just because you've got the other rings at the end that are going to kind of get in the way sometimes. Probably can't see that very well. Let's see here. There we go. So you'll see that's kind of in between those two rings. And then you close that. And then you can arrange it back on. Get back to the shape you had before. Except now, like magic. Like magic, he says.
You are a wizard, so.
Am I?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. My name's not Harry.
Oh, wait. I'm Merlin.
But yeah, there we go. And so you'll have bits kind of off there, and you can keep building from there kind of in the same direction. So you'll just instead go through that one, and you'll have to connect between them. But yeah.
Okay. Do you want to show them again?
Absolutely.
And here, I even did this for you already.
Ooh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So I need to even this out.
Oh, here. Do you need this?
Yeah, it makes it easier. I can do it, it just takes more time if I'm just doing it with my phone.
Yes.
So it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm kind of a perfectionist
Yes.
when it comes to like making stuff. Okay, there we go. And actually, I'm going to need to open up just a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. So again, you take this and then you loop it through one ring. You know,
One ring to rule them all.
One ring to rule them all. One ring to find
The eye of Sauron always watches. Okay. So you loop it through one ring. And you can kind of see. I think I need to open it up a little bit more than that. There we go. That should absolutely do it this time. So through that ring and underneath the other one as well.
Okay, so you're kind of going down into the first ring, up
Mhm.
through the next ring.
Exactly.
I see. Okay.
And then close it.
Awesome.
I don't know if, you know, the traditional armor smiths said boop every time they closed something. But
Well, I think they did.
I hope they did.
It's now part of history.
I mean, I have an undergraduate history degree, so I guess it is.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Well, now you know.
That is awesome.
It can be rearranged. It just,
Yeah.
I'm not very good at that pit, you can kind of see.
Here, do you want me to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I can do it, it just takes time.
Yes.
But yeah. And
This is so cool.
really, that's pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah.
Again, you just do that kind of ad infinitum until you end up with much larger pieces. But that is all we have for you today. That should, at the very least, be enough to get you started on
Absolutely.
your own projects. Chainmail, like I said, is a lot of fun. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. So be sure to research out there. And
Yeah.
also, maybe check out a couple books at the library because we may have a few things that will help you
We
get started.
do. And we'll report back with any projects that we complete.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you have any, absolutely feel free to share them with us.
Please do. Oh my gosh. Send a picture, tag the library. That'd be awesome. We would love to see any of your creations.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
But in that case, though, I believe that's all for us for this month. But we will be back next month with additional costume corners.
Yes.
And otherwise, enjoy your chainmail and be safe out there.
Yes.
If you are watching this video on Facebook, be sure to like and share. If
Absolutely.
you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. all of that helps us get our library's videos out there for everyone to see.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. And just making more and more content. Absolutely.
thank you so much for joining us, and
Yes.
have a great time wherever you are, whenever you are.
Bye, guys.
Bye.